Hello everyone. I'm on a roll. I had a thought about politics. Are you still invested in politics? In the distraction, the division? Or have you let it be and just look at it from afar? I hope you're not getting all riled up in the wild. I cannot even call them discussions. The fences coming up, because these days people no longer want a discussion. They are fully set in their idea or in their party, and if it deviates from theirs, then you are the enemy. And I mean enemy. It is very scary. And when I think of politicians, I'm sure many do go in for the right reasons, and it's just that when you enter the game, you start to see that something else is playing, and you lose sight of your commitments, and so let alone, you're not really focused on what it is that you're doing there, but it's more in defense of the team. And this doesn't serve anyone. So I hope you're able to let go of it. Also, I just wanted to talk about using your imagination, because that's what we have. It is very important, like these days, or in the last 20 years, if you were to say, I wish for peace on earth, people would laugh at you, or just sort of, make you sound ridiculous, because who wants peace on earth? That is a total, it's not realistic. Well, with that attitude, of course it isn't. But as we know, our beliefs will create our reality. So if we hold those beliefs, then, well, if peace is a ridiculous thing, then the opposite is what you're going to manifest. And I think we've done great at that. So if you have that awareness, just sounds ridiculous, but imagine peace on earth, because that is what the human wants. There's not a person that in a healthy mind does not feel good in a peaceful environment. It's just not possible. Healthy mind, I said. So anyhow, I think it's very important to check in with yourself and what is it that you want. And clearly you want more peace in your life, more time for yourself, more time for your imagination, because that's when you're using that imagination, that is when you get to discover who you are. As children, we all had, the time to daydream. And even in the classroom, some of us would just wander off with our thoughts, and then we would be like, pay attention, what are you doing? Daydreaming, it's a bad thing. But children, that's what they do. They create everything is new and exciting, and they create their reality with their imagination. And learning your ABCs may not be part of that. In fact, Rudolf Steiner said that a child should not learn how to read and write before the age of 8. Of course, there are exceptions where children do this by themselves, but most children really need that development. I think all children need that development of being free to imagine a world in nature, to just dream, and I don't even need to know what they're dreaming about, but I'm sure it's great. I remember I myself had a lot of things going on in my head. I had a whole other life going on in my daydreams. So I think and it brought me a lot of peace. So I think it's very important, and we shouldn't ridicule it. there is enough time to think, to read, to write, and there is enough information coming at us when we get older. So it's very important to have that time. And I feel at this time, because there is so much information and everybody claims to know the truth, and whatever that means, because we all have our own truth, so it becomes just noise. So I think it's the most important to go back to yourself and to feel into what it is that you are seeing, experiencing, believing, needing, wanting. What are your passions? What is it that holds you back, or what is it that inspires you? These are the things that we need to know about ourselves in order to make right decisions. So I think it's very important to go back and say, yes, I want a peaceful world. I wish for world peace. And the fact that someone else needs to ridicule that tells you a lot about the person. It's a cynical mind. And we need to get away from that if we're going to make progress. And we have a wonderful chance to make progress. It's in the stars, so to speak, so use it. Also, the same holds true for people that ridicule life coaching or the spiritual community. There's a lot of talk about that because, well, these are things that where people expand their world and really want to discover what else is out there or what else is inside of them. And that does not work for the way we are living our lives on this planet now. We are not to think, we are just to produce. It brings tears to my eyes when I see, young mothers having to bring their children to a daycare, and I'm talking babies, and then be gone all day and then get your baby handed back at the end of the day. That can't be right. I am not judging it because it's a necessity for many people, but that is not natural. You don't get to know your child when you don't see it all day. The beauty of the mother and child is that connection, to look in your child's eyes when you're feeding it. Every little movement, it's beautiful. So yeah, we should give all women that opportunity to get to know their child in that way. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. But the same is said about spirituality, life coaching, because it expands our mind and it takes our attention away from the game that we are ready to get out of because it's exhausting. So, life coaching, similar. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong when you're working with someone to discover who you are, because who you are has been erased since childhood. And for many people, it's very hard to remember, like, who am I in all of this? And if you want to start to live your life in a different way, with more passion, with just a peacefulness inside, then you need to know who you are. And that takes work. And as a life coach, such as myself, you give someone that opportunity to explore that and to really discover what works, what doesn't, what is it that you're actually feeling, and why is it that you're, either wanting to explore something new or improve your health. There's so many ways in which you can use this. And it is really to strengthen the relationship with yourself, because a life coach doesn't tell you what to do. It's there for support. and to be your accountability partner. So it's a trusted partner. Because you know, in life you cannot tell someone that you have a close relationship certain things because it may change the relationship and you may not be ready for that. Well, with a life coach you have a chance to explore what it is that you're actually wanting before being misunderstood by something that you say in a spontaneous moment. And that is not to say that you should have secret and you should be lying. I'm not saying that. But it's good to actually discover what it is that you want before you bring it out into the world. So anyhow, I wanted to give this message because there is so much information out there. And it is true, everybody has a truth and an understanding, but that's not you. You have your own understanding, and your understanding works for you, and that is very important to remember, especially at this time. So I encourage you to really do that work and go inside or read some books, or just change your routine just to see what happens. So I hope this is a helpful tip for the times that we're living in. And as always, I wish you a wonderful day. And if you're wanting more information, you can go to my website, louisevyent.com, and find more information about what I offer. Have a wonderful day.